What's going on, Unqualified sports fans? Welcome back to episode 7 of Unqualified Sports Talk. Today we got a pretty special guest, qualified um, former Florida tight end, Clifford Taylor the fourth. Welcome, Clifford. We're excited to have you on today.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Pretty good, pretty good. Me and Clifford go way back playing uh, upward basketball growing up. Old, so it's pretty cool to be able to reconnect right now, be able to interview him, get some of his insight being back at the University of Florida in Gainesville. So, Clifford, why don't you just walk us through a little bit? Obviously, you played basketball in high school, and then now you play tight end at Florida. That's kind of a weird jump. Tell us how you went from playing high school basketball to being a tight end at Florida.
Yeah, I mean, going into college, I kind of came with the acceptance that I wasn't gonna play D1 ball because I had like offers from D2, D3 schools, but it was like nothing, that really wowed me. So I was like,
Hmm.
all right, well, I'll just go to UF for academics. Thankfully I got in. As you know, my pops went there,
Hmm.
and so when I got there, I actually was gonna try to walk on, and so I reached out to a few members of the coaching staff, and I got one of their attention, and so we would communicate that summer of like 2017, and like he would just tell me to go like see him in his office or whatever in
Hmm.
September. So I go on campus, and then I find out that he left. He went to go coach at FAU or something like that. So that kind of fell through. So all I really did the first like 2 years was just be like regular student, just be a part of like clubs, organizations, play intramural, basketball, flag football. And so my sophomore year, which was Coach Mullen's first year at Florida as a head coach, I just happened to have a flag football game one day, and then like two players that were actually on the team were there, and I just happened to have like a pretty solid game. I had like four touchdowns. Like all I had to do was just like raise my arms a little bit. But yeah, I just was tearing up everybody, and so they asked me after the game. They were like, "Yo, you ever thought about playing?" And I was like, "To be honest with you, nah. Like I've never played football before. I mean, the most I've ever done was play, catch a recess or something like
Hmm.
that." And they were just telling me about like their experience about how like playing for Florida was like the best decision they ever made. And so they were like, think about it. And I was like, all right. I kind of let it go through one ear and out the other, but that week just so happened to be the week we played LSU, and that's like a big rivalry game down here. And that was like the first time like I saw the Swamp, as advertised, like
Hmm.
90,000 just like screaming like from start to finish. And so we won that game off of like a game winning pick six. And so like after that game, I thought about it a little more, and then I talked to some friends, I talked to my family, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna dedicate myself for the next 4 to 5 months because tryouts are usually in February. So
Hmm.
I would say from about October to February, I was just getting in shape because like at that time I would say about 6'4" and maybe 195, 200 on a good
Hmm.
day. And so I just like would just work out every day, just try to do some football drills here and there, just find people to work with. And fast forward to February, and then came to tryout, and turns out we didn't even do any football drills. We just did like straight agility because it was during this period called what's it called, the dead period, where it's like you
Yeah.
can't have like in-person recruiting, you can't like do
Right.
work on the football or anything like that. So it was just like straight agility, which I thrive at because playing basketball you do a whole lot of that.
Well, that's
And so
all you do, man.
yeah, it was pretty easy for me. So I tried out. I told them my class schedule and all that, and they were telling me, all right, we'll see you next week. So I'm preparing to make phone calls to my friends, family, telling them I make it before I could even do that. Dude knocks on my glass door on my car, and he's like, hold up. I'm like, what's the problem? And he was like, it's like we would love to keep you, but your schedule kills you. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, the time you have, class is the time we practice for spring ball. And I was like, what does that mean for me? Does that mean I didn't make it? And he's like, no, you made it. You just gotta wait till summer A. So,
Mm.
so at the time it sucked that I had to wait again because I had to watch one of my other friends who tried out with me make the team and post every day on his Snap story, the locker room, his jersey number, and like the spring game, all that. So like I had to unfriend him for a little bit. But you like fast forward to the summer A term, May goes by. The days in June are going by. So at that time, I'm starting to accept the fact, like, all right, he was just talking out of his head, and they just forgot about me. And sure enough, he called me and he was like, "You ready?" And I was like,
"Yes, sir."
Yeah. So, I go down, and you know how you got to get like all the like tests, like the EKGs, the blood tests. You got to make sure you get all your physicals, and all that stuff we've done since like middle school. I had to do all that, and then like I'm seeing like all these players, and I'm trying my hardest not to be like a fangirl or anything, because like the closest I've like been to the players. I'm like, damn, I really got access to like all this now, and so it was definitely a culture shock. But yeah, and then from that point on, I was on the team for 2 years, and it's just crazy how it just flew by.
Oh, I bet. Like what coming in, let's say start of your junior year, you're going to practice. What were you weighing about then? I'm sure you're still 6'4". Obviously didn't grow anymore.
I actually did grow a little bit. I'm
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm like 6'5" now. And going into camp, I was about 235, 240,
Okay.
around that range.
That's a lot more mass you put on. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, no, that those Gatorade protein and nutrition shakes they give us are no joke. So
I'm sure you got to take a hit though from those Florida players. Holy crap.
it's crazy. The more I think about it, like I only got hard, I would say maybe once or twice. Yeah, and it wasn't really even on purpose. It was just kind of like we just like kind of like bumped into each other.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I never really got, well, thankfully, I never really got my head popped out by anybody. Not to mention I was kind of one of the nicer guys on the team, so like nobody really like messed with me like that. So
Yeah, no one had a target on your back.
yeah, I always had that kind of closure. So like anytime like guys like John Grenard, who was this big buck that we had, anytime we would talk, he would be cool with me. Like sometimes like during scout period, like and we take a break, he'll just take time out of his day and just start talking to me. I'm like, oh snap, this is pretty dope. So yeah, like I said, that was, I mean, just seeing how much, I mean, you could even tell by some of my like pictures from like junior year to senior year. I mean, like the difference. I just look more like a football player my senior year. Like junior year, I just look like a basketball player that threw on some pads and just called it a day. I ain't have no drip either. I was just like, all right, I'm here. But
you didn't have your black visor yet? Well, did you have one? I don't even know if you did.
It's crazy though. So like my first year, I didn't even know the difference between helmets. I was like, man, just give me one with the word Gators on it. I really don't care. They gave me like a 3-bar like tight, like 3-bar typical tight end face mask. And so I wasn't really thinking about any of that. And then the next year I was like, okay, no, I gotta change it up. So I got a Speed Flex, which was like one of the best helmets, and they actually let me get a visor. So I was, like I said, I had a lot more drip.
You're dripped out by that point.
Gotta be feeling sweet looking with the black visor and I'm sure it's got the orange frame helmet with those bars.
Oh man,
that's just mean. Look mean when you get down on the line of scrimmage.
No, I had a gray one. I didn't have a black one. The only time I wore a black one was when I actually had to get one. I think it was like from Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, and I was just wearing it like our scrimmage. Because one thing about our scrimmages, that's like when everybody puts on like the gear and stuff like that. So I did the same thing. I would like put on like a sleeve, have bands go all the way down my veins, and
you look like a creative player almost.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And you got everybody out there just trying stuff on, seeing what they look sweet in.
Right.
That's awesome. So like college athlete, you get to college, they throw this schedule at you as soon as you're on the team. Like, what is that? Is that just all rushing at you? Like, how do you balance that? And like, how does that affect your work? Because obviously, school is right up there number one.
To be honest with you, it's a lot easier in my opinion than like middle school and high school, because like middle school and high school, you're having classes like all day long, and in college it's like you have like, well, at least for me, I had like divisions between my classes. like I'm a morning person, so I would just have class in the morning, knock that out the way and do all my football stuff in the afternoon, and then like I'll have like plenty of time like in the evening to do my like homework and stuff. So for me, from my experience, I think like managing that in high school was harder than college. And so like once I shifted from just being a student to an athlete, it was pretty easy because 2 years, that I mean that can go by, it goes by like that. So like all right, I kind of gotta rejuvenate, kind of get back to where I was. And so it was actually a lot easier than I anticipated, to be real with you.
It's probably a lot easier also, having 2 years under your belt already, going to class, doing work, knowing
Yeah,
how much time you need for each of those things. So
yeah. Once you're like a junior or senior, like the class level, they kind of chill a little bit, in my opinion.
Well, and going from in high school, like class, like 8 to 3 or whatever your thing is, and then practice right after, game days, you're busy all afternoon.
Oh yeah.
And then you got to find the time to do homework, and the classes aren't funny at all. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
so, so you're at a big school. Everybody knows Florida football, all the history there. How does it feel just walking around? Like, is that just the best weight to have on your shoulders? Like just wearing that jersey, feeling so sweet.
I don't mean to rub it in, because
Please rub it in.
I personally think like one of the in my top 5 of best feelings in the world. It could be up there as like number 1 or 2. Just like running out the tunnel in front of like 90,000 people. Like two times that I'll never forget. One was the Auburn game. That was our homecoming game. That's when we brought back our classic uniforms from like 10 years ago. Everyone was hyped about it, and I just like looked around, and I like my feet, I'm pretty sure, were not even touching the ground when I was running. I felt like I was on clouds, just roaming. And then the second time was when we played Florida State. We did not beat Florida State we haven't beaten Florida State in Gainesville at that time since Tebow left. So that's like 10 years. That's like 10 years of them just like beating us in Gainesville. So like that year, I just knew we were going to handle Florida State. So it meant a lot more to me because out of every rivalry we have, I hate Florida State the most. It's not even close. Like Georgia and LSU, yeah, whatever. I hate Florida State. And so just seeing like how people, especially like it being Thanksgiving weekend, like people just came back from Thanksgiving to watch us beat Florida State. Like that was so cool. I mean, it was just like, and not to mention I brought up some new drip just for that game. So,
yes, sir.
So that was very fun. We ended up beating like 40 something to 17, I think.
I bet you're happy they suck now.
Just rocking it the whole game.
You know what's crazy, man? Like I thought I would like it that they suck. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's better than them being great. But personally, I would have wished that the matchups between us while I was here was a little like closer, kind of like in the '90s when both of them were really good. But
top 5 schools.
I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm leaving Florida 2-1 against them, and my best friend, Jared John, he's a Seminole, but he's got to live with that the rest of his life, and I'm cool with that.
You still tight with him?
Oh yeah, oh man, his name's Brother in my phone.
There we go. I haven't seen him or talked to him forever.
Yeah. Jared's doing good. I actually just spoke to him like an hour ago. So I told him I was on your show. He's like, "You talking about Bryce Turner?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah.
I know he just got a job in Florida, right?
Yeah, Florida Farm Bureau. He snagged it in Daytona. What, he announced it on Facebook or something?
I mean, his parents and my parents are still good friends, so.
Gotcha. Yeah. But he's at a Florida Farm Bureau in Daytona, so he'll be down there. He actually just snagged an apartment, so he's balling right now. So
yeah, shout out Jared. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Making moves in life is always super fun, and it's the thing Bryce is going through too right now. So congratulations, Bryce.
Got a job in Raleigh.
Congratulations.
Moved out Monday.
You said you start Monday?
I moved out from Charlotte on Monday. I start April 1st.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryce. everybody leaving Charlotte. That's crazy.
I know.
But so Clifford, one of the things that we know about you, and one of the things I think a lot of people know about you, is your TikTok. and just walk me through it. What would you consider to be your favorite like kind of TikTok? Like, what's your TikTok brand if you had to name one?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh my. Okay, that's actually. I just tried to recreate this one the other day. Actually, I don't know if you guys remember last summer when I mean, this video was like all over the place. It was like House of Highlights, ESPN, Overtime. This thing was on iFunny. When was the last time we used iFunny? Like in middle school?
Yeah,
It was it was
2013.
it was like everywhere. I kept getting it from like in my direct messages from people all over the country, like, yo, is this you? Is this you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. But I mean, hey, that put me on. It was the one where I had the music on, and it was like what your teammates think you're listening to versus what you're actually listening to. It was like some hardcore rap, and then it just went straight to like Big Time Rush or something like that. That video put me like on the map. And then when I did back in January, so I did a takeover for the Florida Gators TikTok page actually. And one of the videos I did, I was in the basketball facility, and it was like one of those like 3 seconds left in the game, 3, 2, and like I shot and I missed it. And I said, no good, but 3 seconds have somehow been magically added. And so I kept doing it, and then that ended up on Sports Center, and that again put me back on the stratosphere, because like I can honestly say, like, once my college football career was over, I thought my account and my page were done. I thought it was wrapped. I could not be more wrong. So
it's just starting, man.
yeah, because now I can start making. It's actually pretty funny now, because like now, like I'm in support of NCAA athletes getting paid. Like I think we all are, but like knowing that they're not and I am, I kind of like rub it in just like a tag.
Yeah.
Well, how do you get paid with TikTok? I didn't think you made money from that.
Well, it really just depends on like people that you partner with. So like if a company like reaches out to you, like I just had one reach out to me today. Snack. It's like some dating, some like new dating app or whatever. It's like the Tinder of TikTok, whatever they call it. And so they just reached out to me today, and they were like, yo, it's like, we would love to, pay you for these amount of posts and these. I'm like, oh, say less. Like, look, man, like this isn't really my style, and y'all know that. But if y'all still willing to pay me,
I'm here for it.
Say less. Where that paper? I'm gonna sign it right now. What we doing? Let's get to work.
Download the app right now.
Yeah. So I 20 million. I don't I'm down. I'm just like, but that's neither here nor there.
We won't tell Snack that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we won't. I mean, we'll promote them if we have to.
That's one of the really cool things about TikTok too, is like you were talking about once your college football career was over, you thought, to kind of fall off. But I mean, with TikTok, does it really matter who you're watching, right? Like I bet Bryce and Carson and you have people that you consistently look for, but other than that, it's just scrolling, right?
Yeah.
You're just looking for, whatever makes you laugh. And that's like that's the best part. It's not like a YouTube or, a Twitter where you look specifically for certain people. You just watch and you just enjoy it.
Right.
So,
yeah. You don't have to be somebody big to be somebody big, That's why it's awesome. That's why we love to see you blow up, man.
Yeah, man. It's great. Like I'm like, man, now I'm at a point, it's like, thank you. I still get that, like I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes like I'll flex my TikTok name, because like I remember I spoke to some people about getting my name switched from my full name to just my first name, and they were like, well, the dude that has been inactive for 5 years. I'm like, say less, give me that. And so anytime someone like outside, like they'll be like, are you from TikTok? Sometimes I'll just be like, no. They're like, yeah, you are. You're that Clifford guy. I'm like, oh, that's not me. And then I'll proceed to show them something. And they're like, see, I told you it was you. I was like, yeah, I was just playing with you.
Man, I'll be doing that all the time.
What a flex.
Yeah. All right, switching gears a little bit now. Obviously, we talked about you personally in football and TikTok, but now we have to ask. We have to ask it. How was playing with people like Kyle Pitts? Was that not the coolest thing of all time, being able to learn and play with them?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like playing with him was really, really cool. But like I was one of those guys that like didn't really read the media as much during the season because I know how good he is.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, it's like, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. But no, like on some real stuff, like both of them, Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, they're like two of like the coolest, laid back people ever. I know for some people it might not seem that way, but like they are just like real loyal, down to earth people. Like if I text Kyle like now, he'll probably respond in like no more than 30 minutes. And that's one thing I like about him is like those bonds and those brotherhoods that he has, like he keeps for life. Like there are times where he'll just ask me like how I'm doing, and like all is well, because I know he's probably somewhere in like LA or somewhere very exclusive right now, getting all kinds of deals and sponsorships. And it's like the fact that he spends time out of his day, sometimes reach out to me and I'll reach out to him. It's like it just goes to show you that who he is as a person. Because like he's a guy from Philly, so he ain't one of those guys that's like, yeah, I'm going to the NFL. Like, oh, y'all can just leave me alone. And that's one thing I like about it. And he taught me everything really I needed to know about being a tight end. Like he showed me like all the right techniques, all the right footwork. And don't get me wrong, like all the other tight ends did as well, but just the way he went about his game and his passion for the game and his ability to to help me along with like other walk-ons. I mean, it was just like the perfect fit. And so like I'm so honored to say that I played alongside him, let alone was in the same tight end room as him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that's probably gonna be my biggest flex whenever I go to a job and be like, oh, you did that? Oh, that's cool. I played with Kyle Pitts. So I got plenty of film and plenty of pictures to prove it. So you want to say?
Because like from our point of view, Kyle Pitts, he's the greatest tight end prospect of all time. Like,
100%.
From our point of view, it's like, I mean, there's no way that's just normal walking into a room and he's kind of just chilling there. But I mean, for you, it probably was. That was every day.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy. He's almost too chill because like he's chill like during the meetings and all that, but as soon as he gets on the field, he just like flips a switch and it's just like
he's an animal.
I don't even know what to say, but he's just a matchup nightmare. And I'm so glad I didn't choose defense when I tried out to be a walk-on, because I was very close to doing either defensive end or linebacker. I'm very glad I didn't. So
be right looking right up at him.
Yeah.
Well, what would you do if he went to the Panthers? He probably won't. But...
I already about that too. I already told him. I was like, look, man, if you go to Charlotte, if you end up in Charlotte, you're gonna have to run me them field access tickets. And he know that. I told him that like 2 months ago, because some draft page called the Draft Network, they had posted like a Photoshop picture of him in a Panthers uniform, and it was crispy. And I posted that on my story. I'm like, look, man, he already know if he ends up in Charlotte, them field access tickets better come in hot. Like I'm already like a PSL owner, so anytime I want to go to a Panther game, I can. But I will not say no to no field access tickets, especially from a brother. Yeah, exactly. So he already know the deal. But honestly, like honestly though, out of respect for him, like I really hope the Eagles get him with the 6th pick, because he's from Philly. That would literally be like the perfect storm if he ends up back home and has that home loyalty, that home crowd. He'd be a Philly legend. No disrespect to Zach Ertz, but they would probably forget who he is in like a few years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're looking to trade him right now. That's what I heard.
Crazy. Yeah, what a tight end room that would be.
Which is crazy. They really shouldn't. I mean, Zach Ertz is a baller. I mean, we all know that. He did numbers for me in fantasy before he got hurt. So.
And I'm sure he won't have to called on draft day, but those personality traits, we hear it time and time again, like that's what they look for in the interviews, and I'm sure those will stick out for him. And I'm excited to watch him next year, no matter where he ends up.
Yeah.
Kind of hope he goes to Charlotte too, because that'd be really sweet. And the bigger name guys that are home guys, the cooler that is. But it's good to hear a little preview for as we're getting closer to the draft. Especially from an insider. But we want to bring the focus back to you a little bit. We've talked about your life and where you've gone up to this point, but we want to know, like, what's everything look like now? Like, what are you looking at heading forward?
Well, now, as you can see, I am chilling in the comfort of my apartment with my jerseys framed up because I am no longer a player. But
yes,
But honestly, my days right now, they consist of just going to the gym, just trying to stay in, reasonable shape, chilling by the pool because, it's warm down here. No offense, guys. Just hanging out with some of my friends and my family whenever they come up here. My roommates are the coolest guys ever. And honestly, now I'm actually working on an internship with through Wilson. It's called Gigs for Game Changers. And I'm working in the talent and influencer research. So it's almost like a kind of like a judge, almost like an X Factor. You have those singers who are judges. I feel like I'm kind of one of those influencers who's a judge who reaches out to people and is like, hey, we would love to, work with you and partner up with you, through Wilson, do some giveaways or something like that. So it's kind of like that next step as far as working in the world of social media. So that's really cool. I'm also interning actually with the Florida Gators social media team. So I've helped create content, develop some ideas for, future content, in the summer and fall. So I definitely, working in that field alongside with graphic design, which is my actual major. So if I can blend the two together, that would be a dream job. I actually had some conversations 2 weeks ago, actually, with the NBA, actually about working with them. And so I actually have to contact them because, as this semester continues to come to a close, I got to keep them, updated with what's going on. So if I can land a job with them, that would just be icing.
That'd be next level, dude.
That'd be next level. So I would more than likely take it and have to end up going to New Jersey or New York. So definitely a lot going on, trying to hustle as I, get out of college, because I don't want to get out of college and then start job hunting, because I feel like that never really works for people. So
trust me, it was the most stressful thing of all time.
just trying to get a head start.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I hope you land that freaking job with the NBA. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
That'd be a dream come true. But you hoop anymore?
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize I don't stop. Like, I still have my rim here.
Oh yeah,
sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. Basketball, that never went away. I'll never forget one time too. So it was a day that we had we were supposed to have mat drills, and so our strength coach was like, everybody go in the meeting room. So we never go in the meeting room before our mat drill. So I thought we were in trouble. And so how about Coach Mullen walks in with a full orange Florida Gators men's basketball uniform, with a headband and the J's and all that. I'm like, what is going on? And so they just pulled up this little slideshow, basketball tournament. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, is this just meant for me or something like that? Because most teams I don't think ever do that. And so he was like, yeah, we're going to have teams and we're going to go to the actual basketball facility. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dreaming, man. Come on. And it's like at 6 a.m. So that just woke me up. I'm like, all right. So they gave us some threes or something like that just for that day to let us keep. And so I was like, yo, run me a headband. I had 2 sleeves on that day. I remember. and we were balling for an hour, and I was going ham. And so we had a little dunk contest. And I'll be real, I'm not really a fancy dunk. I'm more of a fundamental, big man throw it down type of dunk. So I did my little dunk, and I was happy because everybody was happy for me. And that was actually one of my favorite moments being a Gator, that basketball tournament, because I would tell everybody that I used to hoop, but football players think they can do everything. So they would be like, man, you can't hoop. And once I started hooping, and it was crazy because our first game, my first point, I vividly remember, it was like a little putback dunk. And so the very next play on defense, I just swatted the ball and it hit it hit one of our players, and it was just like, oh snap, he can play. And so I was definitely feeling myself for that good hour and a half. So,
you the best hooper on the team?
It's between three people. It's between me, Anthony Richardson, and Trent Whittemore, Gainesville local. He can hoop. It's between us three.
Love it.
Wow, top 3 hooper on the Florida football team.
Self-proclaimed. So
yeah, self-proclaimed, of course.
Yeah.
Unqualified.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll definitely ask for you to be on the basketball team now. Can Coach Mullen hoop?
Yeah. Where's his hoop game at?
EBD. We never saw him play. It was just a players thing. So only people that know, I'm assuming, is his family.
Come on, Coach.
Yeah. I know, get all dressed up with his headband on and not even Not even show off for the
That's
kids.
that's false advertising.
How tall is Coach
Yeah.
Mullins?
Coach Mullen's, I'd say 6'1".
You think he can bang? Think he's ever been able to bang?
Maybe in college. Stories he's told us about college, I would assume so. That would be my guess. But now he was just like a goofy guy. But I loved him. I mean, he was the best. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all saw like on Halloween when he dressed up as Darth Vader. I'm like,
Yeah.
only he can do that, man. It's just like he's just like the coolest, goofiest coach ever. Like it's for me, it's almost like impossible to hate him. There's really nothing wrong with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, we don't have that same experience because we're not on the team and we don't know him. But no,
We're unqualified.
We're unqualified. Outside looking in, though, he's an awesome guy. But Cliff, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Always good to see you, brother. Like when you hit me up, I'm like, Bryce Turner, because like sometimes I'll get messages and I'll just be like, big fan, and you started with Hey Cliff, I'm like, Bryce Turner. So, like, I was kind of hyped when you hit me up. I'm like, oh man, you should, man. It's a shame that you were in my request, man. It's a shame. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, man, dude, it was so good like hearing from you again, man.
Yeah, man, we definitely got to catch up at some point. Maybe you can come on the show again. We'd really appreciate it. But
oh yeah, anytime, man. You ain't even gotta ask.
Dude, take it easy. Good luck on your career. Hopeful NBA. Hopefully working for the NBA. Hopefully not. I do have to ask though before we leave. How pissed off were you about LaMelo breaking his wrist? I know you're a Charlotte boy.
I mean, firsthand, man. Anytime we get a little superstar, something always got to go wrong.
Something has to, dude.
Something always got to go wrong. But in my humble, biased opinion, he has done enough to win Rookie of the Year. In my opinion,
I agree.
Don't get me wrong.
50 games.
Don't get me wrong.
Plenty.
Anthony Edwards has been doing great, but LaMelo first. Like you can't make it up. So
you can't do better than that.
Yeah. Literally. So like honestly, I'm at a point now where it's like because we're way ahead of our like rebuild. Because like I'm stunned that we're like a game or two over 500. Mm-hmm. Like I did not expect that coming into this season. Like even with Gordon Hayward, I was like, we'll be better, but we won't be a playoff contender. But looking at our team now and just like our chemistry, it's like, oh man, we're way ahead of schedule. But I'm totally here for it.
Yeah, dude, it's been fun to watch. And Gordon Hayward's been playing out of his mind too, way better than I expected.
Yeah, he almost messed around and was an all-star.
I know. But dude, thanks again for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Good catching up with you a little bit. It's been way too long. Yeah. But take it easy. We'll be in touch. And guys, go Gators. First time I ever said that in my life.
Always,
Gators.